Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Brendan Rodgers doesn't sound very happy with not only the mainstream media, but Celtic fan media.
To be fair, I don't care. I don't care, to be honest. My focus is with the team. I understand and I get the feeling and I understand that you have to create that, and I understand this city that the two teams can't be doing well. You know, I know you can be, when I was at Liverpool and Everton can be doing well at the same time, but that can't happen here. So one has to be pushed down, and for us it's us because we're at the top. And we slipped up in early December, but that narrative has continued.
It has continued, and the media have got the bit between their teeth. I'd even say that a lot of Celtic media have been quite negative to the way that we're playing. A lot of fans have been negative to the way that we're playing, and they're blaming Brendan Rodgers for that. And I see it in the comments every day.
Right the way through, even though the players have won 8 games, some tough games, and drawn 1 game. So I can't control that. What I can control is the mindset of the team, the attitude of the team, and knowing that over this next period of games we'll be really focused and be really aggressive and attack the game. What everyone else says, right, I couldn't care less.
Light a fire in you a little bit?
No.
That look from Brendan Rodgers when he was asked from Celtic fan media, does it light a fire in you? But he basically I mean, you've all seen it. You've all watched the Celtic media conference. He stares right at him. Nah. Doesn't bother him one bit.
Not at all.
Not at all, says Brendan Rodgers. It's an interesting one from Brendan Rodgers because it seems as if he's a bit peeved off with a lot of the media just now.
Do you like that?
I don't need what you guys say or to spike me up.
Interesting. I don't need what you guys write to spike me up, says Brendan Rodgers whilst looking at one of the Celtic fan media guys. It's been an interesting day. When it comes to Celtic, he was then asked about the whole situation with Lil Abada. And that's a situation that looks as if it's going to get resolved one way or the other.
Lots of conversations with Liel, and again, I'm really empathetic towards the issue that he has, and it's more than football. It's at a human level. So I have to respect that. But he's training, he's working away. But as I said to you, this period is all about the mind, and if you're not quite right or ready, then firstly, I can't take any risk with him, the player, because that will always support, and obviously I have to also protect the squad as well.
So is that an ongoing thing? He won't
It's
be
ongoing,
available this weekend. It'll just be a case of continuing to
Yeah,
speak to him.
we'll just assess it
monitor where he's
and
at.
see where it's at. Yeah.
How tough is that a situation to deal with? You say it is a lot more than football. He's obviously a young man as well. How much responsibility do you take in sort of his care?
I take a great responsibility. That's why we're here. It's my job isn't just a football manager. It's to look after this as a young guy at 22 years of age, far away from home. People can talk about what's going on there and then they can forget about it. This is the reality for him. It's his life. Every single day, every night, families in a war. So it's a really, really tough situation for him. And as I said, on a human level, I have real empathy for him. So it's my job, and we will do that. Like I've done with numbers of players before. Just take the human aspect and look after him. And when he's ready, if he ever is ready, then he'll be able to give us everything.
I don't think Lil Abada is going to play for Celtic again by the sounds of it. It's a situation that is far from... a lot of people are going to blame the Green Brigade, but let's not play within the fan base this weekend. Let's not play a game of blame. And especially when there's a situation where, there was 1,000 people killed Israelis, but there have been 27,000 Palestinians have been killed, and those Palestinians were not terrorists. That was civilians, and there's been millions of people displaced out of their homes. So let's not get into the politics, the geopolitics of somewhere that's far away. Let's just concentrate on everything Celtic at the moment. Although the Celtic manager handled that press conference really well and took hold of the narrative that has been around Celtic for a while, in this negative narrative, you would forget that we were actually playing Kilmarnock tomorrow. When you look at it, you would actually forget that we've got a home game tomorrow in front of 60,000 fans, and that we were playing Kilmarnock. Not one question was asked by the media about the game tomorrow. There was one question right at the start of the press conference where it was asked about some of the players.
Well, not available, but we're hopeful that over the next week to 10 days he could be back in. So we're just assessing that as we go along. But he's doing work out on the pitch, so he's still keeping up his fitness. But the contact we just have to be mindful of. Greg Taylor's back, so trained all week. Comes back into the squad. Cameron Carter-Vickers will rejoin the squad next week, and so we're getting there.
We're getting there. It's good to know. It's absolutely fantastic news. Let's take some positives out of this. It's absolutely fantastic news that Alistair Johnston is not out for the end of the season. He's not out. The fracture doesn't seem to be as bad as what they thought, or maybe the worst case scenario. It does look as if, well, he said, the manager said, look, he's on the pitch, he's keeping his fitness up. And it's just about how this all heals over the next week or so. That's fantastic news. Why isn't the narrative about the good news factor that we have Alistair Johnston is back on the pitch and he could be with us within the next week or so. Cameron Carter-Vickers back on the pitch and he'll be with us in the next week or so. And Greg Taylor is in the squad for the weekend. Let's get some good news out there about Celtic. Let's change the narrative that has been out there of this negativity. People have been going on about the side-to-side passing football. We'll quit it with the negativity against Brendan Rodgers because he came out all guns firing today. He came all guns firing today and basically made sure that he would run the press conference and the press would not run it the way that they wanted it to. Although the narrative of the questions was all around the Liel Abada situation, and that's all about making headlines. That's all that is. They went in with that narrative. They knew they could grab the bull by the horn and have that. You can guarantee that the papers tomorrow will all be about Liel Abada leaving Celtic. And that was it. That's the end of the story. It'll not be about Alistair Johnston, who had that horrific head knock that could have given him a season-defining skull fracture. And he's back on the pitch and he's training. But the headlines will go to Liel Abada. So job done for the ones that are running that narrative, if you ask me. Job done and well done on them. But the good news is we've got 3 players coming back just in time for a title run-in. And it was good to see a Celtic player getting rolled out that knows what it means to the club and it knows what it means to play for the club. And he was also asked about the current situation and the noise from outside Celtic Park. Well, not directly outside Celtic Park, but the noise coming off of social media. Social media is a terrible place, let's be fair. It is a one terrible place when you go into the likes of Twitter and Facebook. It's just the narrative of some of these groups and some of the threads that you see is just it's unbelievable. You think, do these people actually support Celtic? But listen to what Big Tony had to say.
Yeah, dressing room's in a great place. All the boys are in a good place. We've got a great bond, even the new boys that have come in. I've hit the ground running, they're in a good place and having a laugh and different things like that with the boys, and it's important that that's there on a daily basis. And on the training pitch, we're putting the work in for the minute go till we stop training, and then to take that into games. So we're all in a good place as a team, and we're just ready to go head on now into the games.
We're ready to go head on into the games. Come on! Fighting talk for Tony Ralston, although it is the stare of death that looks over from Tony Ralston towards the media this afternoon. I think that this team knows that everybody is out to get them. Even people within their own fan base are out to get them. There are even people within their own fan base that want Brendan Rodgers to fail and leave Celtic Park as soon as possible. Me, for one, I think that he will still stay the whole 3 year of his contract unless there is something happens in the background and he is asked to leave. I mean, that can't be can't even think about that situation. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. For one, I think the Leo Labada is a situation that had to be sorted out, but let's stop all this negative narrative and let's stop all this BS around about the fact that, Brendan's a shit manager. He's a manager that knows where it wants to play for Celtic. He wants to be here. Who else would you get in?